In this video, we will be discussing cost relationships and how total cost, marginal cost, and average cost all relate with one another. Here we have a problem where they ask us to find the marginal cost, to find the cost minimizing quantity, and to find the average variable cost value. And they give us an average variable cost formula of 10 minus 0.0005 Q plus 0.00001 Q squared. So in order to find our marginal cost, we would have to take the derivative of the total cost function, or the total variable cost function. But they give us average variable cost. And the relationship between average and total cost is the average variable cost equals total variable cost divided by Q. So if we want to find total variable cost, we would multiply average variable cost by Q. So we find our total variable cost function to be Q times our original function of 10 minus 0.05 Q plus 0.1234 zeros 1 Q squared. And by distributing that Q, we get a total variable cost function of 10Q minus 0.125 Q squared. So there's two zeros and then a 5 after the 0 point, and then plus 0.1234, 4 zeros, 1 Q cubed. Now in order to find our marginal cost, we would take the derivative of the total variable cost function with respect to Q. And we find our marginal cost function to be 10 minus 0.01 Q plus 0.1234 3 Q squared. And that is our marginal cost. Next up, we want to find our cost minimizing quantity, and we can find this one of two ways. We can either set marginal cost equal to average variable cost and solve for Q, or we can take the derivative of the average variable cost function with respect to Q and set it equal to 0. For this first problem, I am going to go with the second option of taking the derivative of the average variable cost function. And if we take the derivative of the average variable cost function, which was originally 10 minus 0.005 Q plus 0.00001 Q squared. And if we take that derivative, we get negative 0.0005 plus 0.00002 Q, and that equals 0 because we're finding the cost minimizing quantity. And if we add 0.005 to both sides, we get 0.00002 Q equals 0.005. And if we divide both sides by 0.00002, we find Q to equal 250. And this quantity will give us our minimum cost we can achieve. Next, we want to find the average variable cost value at 250. So our average variable cost was 10 minus 0.005 times Q, which is 250, and then plus 0.00001 Q squared, which is then 250 squared. And if we plug this into a calculator, we find our average variable cost to equal 9.375. So on average, each unit of whatever good we produce costs us about $9.38. And we would reach this minimum cost by producing 250 units of whatever good we are producing. Here we have another problem where they give us an average variable cost function of 18 minus 0.009q plus 0.000027q squared. And they ask us the same questions as the first problem of find the marginal cost, find the cost minimizing quantity, and find the average variable cost value. So we will do the same as we did before. So we will try to find our total variable cost by multiplying our average variable cost function by q. So we have q times our average variable cost function of 18 minus 0.009q plus 0.000027q squared. And by distributing that q, we find our total variable cost to equal 18q minus 0.009q squared plus 0.000027q cubed. Now, in order to find our marginal cost, we would take the derivative of the total variable cost function with respect to q. And our derivative ends up being 18 minus 0.018q plus 0.000054q squared. And that is our marginal cost function. Now we want to find our cost minimizing quantity. So we can again either choose to set marginal cost equal to our average variable cost function, or take the derivative of the average variable cost function with respect to q. I will again take the derivative of the average variable cost function with respect to q. And if we recall, our average variable cost function was 18 minus 0.009q plus 0.000027q squared. And by taking that derivative, we have negative 0.009 plus 0.000054q, and that equals 0. And if we add 0.009 to both sides, we get 0.00054q equals 0.009. And if we divide both sides by 0.00054, we find q to equal 166.67. And we would produce this quantity in order to minimize our costs. Lastly, we want to find our average variable cost value, and we would plug our q that we just found into our function of 18 minus 0.009 times our q, which was 166.67, plus 0.00027 times 166.67 squared. And by plugging that into a calculator, we find our average variable cost to equal 17.25. So our average cost to produce a unit of whatever good we are producing is $17.25. And we would produce at our cost minimizing quantity of 166.67 units of whatever good we are producing. And we can use these cost relationships in other scenarios as well in order to make sure we are properly maximizing our profits by minimizing our costs and maximizing our revenues. That will conclude this video on cost relationships.